Hey guys, so there are many things absolutely beautiful about Lexington, Kentucky, and that is why I've actually lived here for going on 2 decades. But there are also some downsides to living in Lexington. So I wanted to be open and honest to everyone and share some of the bad things that I feel Lexington, Kentucky has. Now my name is Rock Daniels. I am the Bluegrass Realtor. I'm a 20-year veteran realtor, real estate investor, and licensed general contractor right here in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm also an ambassador for the city. I've gone through classes to be an ambassador. So just take a second, hit that subscribe button so that we can stay connected. And if you decide that you need assistance in real estate or just have more questions about Lexington, please be sure to reach out to me. I'm always here. All right, now in this video, I'm going to talk about the top 10 reasons not to move to Lexington, Kentucky. So the first is our limited public transportation. Because Lexington, Kentucky, it may be known for its horse racing or bourbon distilleries or our unique southern charm, but it's also known for a limited public transportation system. Now, this lack of efficient public transportation options, this can be a significant drawback for residents and visitors alike. Now, unlike many metropolis areas, Lexington's public transportation system, it's not extensive, which can make it even difficult for those who rely on this public transportation to get around. Now, while there is a public bus system called Lextran, the routes are limited and the schedules are not always convenient, and it makes it challenging to rely on them for everyday transportation needs. This can be a particular issue for those who don't own a car or can't afford one, making it difficult to get to work, difficult to get to school, or any other important destinations, even the doctor. So moreover, the limited public transportation system, it can also impact the economy and our city's growth. Now, without easy access to reliable public transportation, businesses may be less likely to invest in the city and create jobs, which can limit economic opportunities for the residents and the city as a whole. Now, furthermore, the lack of public transportation can also negatively impact environmental issues. All right, with fewer people using public transportation, more people turn to personal vehicles, leading to increased traffic congestion, air pollution, greenhouse gas emissions. These issues can have a significant impact on the environment and public health. Now, in addition to limited public transportation, this system can also have an effect on the city's ability to attract and retain young professionals who may prefer to live in areas where public transportation options are key. Now, this can result in what's called a brain drain, with younger, educated individuals leaving the city to go to other areas, leading to a decrease in the overall economic social development. Now, despite efforts to improve public transportation in recent years, such as the implementation of bike share programs and the addition of many more bus routes, the progress has been slow and insufficient. Now, it may take years for Lexington to develop a comprehensive, efficient public transportation system. And in the meantime, the lack of options, it can be a significant downside for residents and visitors, because Lexington's limited public transportation system is a negative impact on our city, the economic growth, environmental sustainability, and the quality of life. Now, while the city has made some progress in recent years, it's got a long way to go, long way to go to create a reliable, comprehensive public transportation system that can meet the needs of everybody. Now, the second thing is hot and humid summers. Hot! Lexington, Kentucky, like I said, it's known, beautiful countryside, horse farms, charming downtown. However, the city also has negative aspects, including this hot and humid summers, which can make living here challenging for not just some, but for a lot. The summer season in Lexington is characterized by high temperatures and high humidity. Now, according to weather data, the average high temperature in July, which is the hottest month of the year here in Lexington, is over 90 degrees. All right? Now, these high temperatures can make outdoor activities extremely uncomfortable, and the humidity can make the air feel heavy and oppressive. It can also be difficult to get relief from the heat, as many homes in Lexington, some of them don't have central heat and air, and rely on these window units or fans. That way you're just blowing the hot humid summer air across your body. Now, this summer hot heat and humidity can have health consequences, particularly to those vulnerable populations, such as elderly young children and those with respiratory problems. Heat exhaustion and heat stroke are both serious consequences and conditions that result in prolonged exposure to high temperatures and humidity. Now, in addition, the high levels of humidity can exacerbate respiratory issues and such as asthma. Now, the hot and humid summers in Lexington can also impact the city's economy, particularly the tourism industry. Now, visitors are less likely to explore the city's outdoor attractions, such as the horse farms or the Lexington Arboretum, during the hottest months of the year. Now, this can result in decreased revenue for local businesses that rely on tourism, such as restaurants, shops, and hotels. Now, despite these negative aspects, Lexington does have some positives during the summer months. The city has several parks and green spaces where residents and visitors can enjoy our outdoors. Now, the city also has several indoor attractions, such as the Lexington Opera House and the Lexington Children's Theater, that offer air-conditioned entertainment options. Now, in addition, Lexington has several public pools, splash pads, and all of these provide a respite from the heat. Many of these facilities offer free admission or low-cost entry fees, so that makes them accessible to all residents and visitors. Now, the city also hosts several events and festivals during the summer months, such as the 4th of July Parade Festival and the Crave Food and Music Festival, which provide opportunities for residents to enjoy the city's culture and entertainment scene. While the hot and humid summers in Lexington can be a little bit uncomfortable for some of us, the city does offer several indoor and outdoor options for relief and entertainment. Now, the impact of the weather on the local economy and public health should not be ignored. However, the efforts should be made to address these issues. All right, another thing that's negative about Lexington is our limited job opportunities. Now, one of the main drawbacks of living in Lexington, Kentucky is the limited job opportunities available, particularly in certain industries. Now, while the city has experienced some growth in recent years, it remains a mid-sized city with a smaller job market compared to larger metropolitan areas. Now, as a result, many job seekers may struggle to find suitable employment opportunities in their preferred fields. Now, one industry that is in particular that is seeing this low job growth is the technology sector. Now, although there are a few tech startups in our area, there are far fewer opportunities compared to cities such as San Francisco or Seattle or Chicago. Now, this can make it very difficult for tech professionals to find jobs that match their skill set and may force them to look elsewhere for employment. Now, in addition to the technology sector, other industries that are limited in Lexington include finance, marketing, and advertising. Now, these industries are typically concentrated in larger cities, and while there are fewer opportunities in Lexington, they may not be as plentiful as in other cities. So this can be especially challenging for recent graduates or those looking to make a career change and those who want to relocate in order to find employment in their desired field. Now, another issue with the limited job market in Lexington is that it can lead to lower salaries and fewer employment opportunities for advancement. All right, now when there are fewer job openings, competition for those positions can be fierce, which can lead to lower wages, less room for growth, even within a company. Now, this can be discouraging for workers who want to build a career in a specific field or industry. Now, furthermore, the limited job market can also impact the overall economic growth of Lexington. Now, when there are fewer jobs available, it can be more difficult to attract new businesses to come in the area, which can bring jobs and employment taxes, which can slow down the overall growth and economic development of Lexington. Now, this can have a rippling effect throughout our entire community, impacting everyone and everything from local real estate markets to the availability of goods and services. Now, while Lexington may have limited opportunities for jobs compared to larger cities, it does offer some unique advantages. For example, the cost of living in Lexington is generally lower than some of these metropolitan areas. Higher than some, but lower than some. All right. This can be appealing to some looking for avenues to save money. Additionally, the city has a strong sense of community and a rich cultural history. This can be attractive for people who want to value a strong sense of community and a slower pace of life. Now, overall, while there are certainly drawbacks to the limited job market here in Lexington, it is important to weigh the pros and the cons, when you're considering a move to our city. Now, by taking a close look at the available job opportunities and considering the overall quality of life here in Lexington, Kentucky, individuals can make an informed decision about whether or not this city is the right fit for them. Now, another negative aspect is our lack of diversity. Lexington, Kentucky is a small city. It's known for its southern, charming hospitality and beautiful horse farms. However, despite its many appealing qualities, one of the major downsides of Lexington is its lack of diversity. This is a city where over 75% of the population is white, and other racial and ethnic groups are few and far between. Now, here are some reasons why the lack of diversity in Lexington is a negative aspect for our city. Now, one of them is the most obvious, and it's the lack of diversity is the problem, and it's limited cultural experiences that are available to people who live here or visit here. There are only a handful of cultural events or festivals that take place in Lexington each year. Now, many of these events are focused on the area's horse racing culture. Now, as a result, people who are interested in exploring different cultures and trying new things, they may find that Lexington does not have enough to offer in the sense of variety. Now, in addition to the limited cultural experiences, the lack of diversity can also make it difficult for people to connect with others who share their same background and experiences. Now, people who move to Lexington from other parts of the country or world may find it challenging to make friends or form social connections with people who have very different life experiences than their own. Now, this can be especially difficult for people who come from marginalized communities and are being part of a larger community of people who want to share their same background and experiences. Now, another way in which the lack of diversity can be a negative impact in Lexington is the limited career opportunities that are available to people who do not fit the dominant culture. Now, it's well known that many industries and companies prioritize hiring people who fit a certain profile. Now, in Lexington, that profile is often white and middle class. Now, people from other backgrounds or communities may find it difficult to secure job opportunities or advance their political or educational or job career, simply because they don't fit the mold that employers are looking for. Now, finally, the lack of diversity in Lexington can also make it less welcoming or a less inclusive city for those who are not white and middle class. Now, people from marginalized communities may feel uncomfortable or unsafe in certain parts of our city, and they may be more likely to experience discrimination, harassment, than they would in a more diverse city or metropolitan area. Now, this can make it difficult for people to feel like they belong in Lexington and may make them less likely to want to stay in the city for long term. Now, while Lexington has many positive qualities, its lack of diversity is a significant downside and cannot be ignored. The limited cultural experiences, difficulty making social connections, limited career opportunities, and the lack of inclusivity for marginalized communities are all factors that make Lexington a less attractive city for many people. Now, another thing is Lexington's high cost of living. Lexington is a city located in the heart of the Bluegrass region. This city, it's home to more than 300,000 people, and it's been dubbed the horse capital of the world due to its prominent role in the horse racing industry. However, despite its many positive attributes, Lexington has several negative aspects that make it an unattractive place to live. Now, one of those negative factors is the high cost of living in our city. The cost of living in Lexington is relatively high, which makes it a challenge, real challenge, for many people to afford basic necessities such as housing, healthcare. Now, according to data from Numbeo, a cost of living comparison website, the cost of living in Lexington is 11.25% higher than the national average. This is primarily due to the high cost of housing, which is 22.8% higher than the national average. Now, as a result, many people who live in Lexington are forced to pay more than they can afford for their housing, which can be a significant burden on their finances. Now, another factor contributing to the high cost of living in Lexington is the cost of health care. Now, according to a report from the Kaiser Family Foundation, the average cost of health insurance premiums in Kentucky is $6,464 per year, which is higher than the national average by almost $500. Now, the high cost of healthcare can make it difficult for people in Lexington to access the medical care that they need, especially if they are underinsured or uninsured. Now, the high cost of living in Lexington also affects the city's economy. Businesses that operate in the city are often forced to pay higher wages for their employees in order to compensate for high costs of living. Now, this can make it more difficult for businesses to compete with companies in other cities that have lower costs of living. Now, as a result, some companies, they may choose to relocate to other areas. This can have a negative impact on our local economy. Now, while Lexington may have many positive attributes, the high cost of living in this city makes it a challenging place to live for many people. Now, the high cost of housing and healthcare, combined with challenges faced by businesses, operating in the city, make it an unattractive place for people to call home. Now, while efforts are being made to address these issues, it remains to be seen whether it will be successful in making Lexington a more affordable place to live. Some people are trying to pass a tenant's bill of rights to make it more affordable. Now, another negative thing about Lexington is the limited nightlife. Lexington, Kentucky is a beautiful city. Like I've said before, we're located in the Bluegrass region. We've got the horse racing industry, the bourbon distilleries, rich history. But despite all these many attractions, one of the negative aspects of Lexington is the limited nightlife scene. The nightlife scene in Lexington is not as vibrant as other cities such as Nashville or even Louisville. But although the city has several bars, music venues, nightclubs, they are relatively limited in their number and may not cater to the tastes of everybody. Now, for those seeking a more active social scene, this could be a downside. Now, one reason Lexington's limited nightlife is due to demographics. The majority of Lexington's population is made up of families and older residents who may not be interested in a bustling nightlife scene. So as a result, there may be less demand for bars and nightclubs, which can make it less attractive for businesses to invest in these sort of things in the city. And moreover, Lexington's strict alcohol laws can also contribute to its limited nightlife. Lexington has some of the strictest alcohol laws in the United States, which can make it difficult for bars and nightclubs to operate. For example, bars are required to close by 2 a.m., which may not appeal to those who want to enjoy staying out late. Additionally, there are restrictions to where alcohol can be sold and consumed, which may limit the number of bars and nightclubs that can operate in the city. The limited nightlife in Lexington can also have negative impacts on the city's economy. Now, a vibrant nightlife scene can attract young professionals and tourists that want to spend money in the bars and in the restaurants and other businesses. However, limited options in Lexington may make it, less attractive for these groups to visit or even move to our beautiful city. As a result, businesses may be less likely to invest in the city, which can have negative impacts on job growth and economic development. Now, while Lexington has many positive attributes, such as our horse racing industry, the bourbon distilleries, the limited nightlife scene may not appeal to everyone. Now, the city's demographics, the strict liquor laws, and the limited options can make it less attractive for younger adults and tourists who want to come to our city. This can have a negative impact on the city's economy, the job growth. Now, while efforts are being made right now to improve the nightlife scene in Lexington, it remains to be seen whether these efforts are going to be successful in attracting more vibrant and diverse social scenes. Now, another thing is our limited cultural amenities. Now, despite its many charms, Lexington has some limitations that can deter people from living or visiting the city. One is the biggest drawbacks is the city's limited cultural amenities. Now, compared to larger cities like New York or Chicago, Lexington may seem lacking, obviously, in cultural diversity, like I mentioned before. The city does not have several museums, but it does have some, which include the Lexington History Museum, the Aviation Museum of Kentucky at the airport, and the Lexington Art League. Now, however, these attractions may not be enough to satisfy those who are looking for a more culturally rich environment. For example, while the city does have the opera company, it may not be the same caliber of performances that you could find at the Metropolitan Opera in New York City. But another factor that may contribute to the limited cultural amenities in Lexington is its size. With a population of around 330,000 people, Lexington is a mid-sized city, but it may not have the same level of resources and funding as larger metropolitan areas such as Cincinnati or Chicago. As a result, the city may not be able to attract and retain many cultural institutions like larger cities. Now, despite the limitations, Lexington does have its own unique cultural offerings. For example, the city is known for its equestrian heritage and hosts several major horse racing events throughout the year. Now, this includes Keeneland, and we also have the horse park. The city is home to the University of Kentucky, which has its own cultural offerings, such as the Singletary Center for Arts and the UK Art Museum. Now, in addition, Lexington has a vibrant music scene with several venues to host local and national acts. Now, the city is also recognized for its culinary scene and a variety of restaurants that offer everything from, like Southern food, like Southern, this comfort food, or international cuisine. Now, while Lexington may not have the same level of cultural amenities that larger cities, it still offers plenty of opportunities for residents and visitors to experience the city's unique blend of history, nature, and, of course, our Southern charm. Now, whether you're exploring the city's many parks and natural trails, sampling our famous bourbon, or attending a local festival or concert, there's always something to do in Lexington. Now, Lexington's limited cultural amenities may not be ideal for everyone, but the city still has much to offer. Our unique blend of history, nature, and of course, like I said, and keep reiterating, Southern charm make it a wonderful place to live or visit. Our cultural offerings are pretty extensive for a city our size. So it's still worth to come here and explore. If you're looking for a mid-sized city with plenty of character and charm, Lexington is just the place for you. Now, another thing that's a negative about Lexington is our limited outdoor recreation. One potential drawback of living or visiting Lexington is that limited outdoor recreation that's available in our area. Now, while there are some outdoor activities in Lexington, such as hiking and horseback riding, the options are limited compared to other bigger cities. Now, for example, the city may not have many opportunities for water sports like kayaking or paddleboarding, which can be a major drawback for outdoor enthusiasts. Now, the lack of outdoor recreational activities may not be ideal for people who enjoy spending time in nature or participating in outdoor sports. Now, one reason for the limited outdoor activities in Lexington, it's our size and, of course, our location. We don't sit on a major body of water. We're a mid-sized city, and we don't have the same resources or funding as larger cities, which can make it more difficult to develop and maintain outdoor recreational areas. Now, additionally, while Lexington is located in a beautiful region of the Bluegrass that has natural scenery, we don't have as many national parks or protected areas as other parts of the country. Now, despite these limitations, there are still plenty of opportunities to enjoy a great amount of outdoors in Lexington. For example, the city has several parks and natural preserves, such as McConnell Springs and Ravens Run Natural Sanctuary. Now, these offers hiking trails, wildlife viewings, and other outdoor activities. Nearby we have the Kentucky River, and it provides opportunities for boating, fishing, and the city is home to several golf courses for those who enjoy the sport like I do. Now, furthermore, Lexington's equestrian heritage offers unique outdoor activities such as horseback riding, horse shows, tours of local horse farms. Now, horseback riding is a popular outdoor activity for both visitors and locals alike. There are several stables and equestrian centers in the area that offer lessons and trail rides. While Lexington may not have, as many outdoor cultural or recreational opportunities as some of our bigger cities, it still offers plenty of opportunities to enjoy the great outdoors. And the city's parks, natural preserves, and equestrian heritage offer unique experiences for those who enjoy spending time in nature. Now, there are still plenty of opportunities for hiking, golfing, and other outdoor activities. While the limited outdoor activities in Lexington may not be ideal for everyone, the city's other charms, such as our Southern hospitality, like I keep saying, our cultural offerings, and historic landmarks make it a wonderful place to visit and even to call home. Now, another negative about Lexington is our limited shopping. Lexington has limited shopping options available in our area. Compared to larger cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Cincinnati, even Louisville, Lexington may seem lacking in shopping options. Now, while the city does have several shopping centers and malls, such as Fayette Mall and the Summit at Fritz Farms, the options may not be as diverse and extensive as those in larger cities. Now, additionally, the city may not have many luxury or high-end retail options. This can be a drawback to people who want to enjoy shopping for designer goods. Now, one reason for the limited shopping options in Lexington may be its size, maybe our location. We're a mid-sized city. And Lexington just may not have the same level of demand or resources as larger cities. This can be a more difficult drawback to attract and retain retailers. Now, additionally, the city's location in the heart of the Bluegrass region may limit the availability of certain goods and products, which can further limit the shopping options in our area. Now, despite these limitations, there are still plenty of shopping opportunities in Lexington. Now, the city's shopping centers and malls, they offer a range of stores from big box retailers to specialty shops and even boutiques. Now, additionally, the city's historic downtown area offers a unique shopping experience with a variety of local shops and art galleries which feature handmade crafts and artisanal goods. All right. Furthermore, Lexington's proximity to other major cities such as Louisville and Cincinnati provides opportunities for day trips or weekend getaways that offer more extensive shopping options. Now, these larger cities offer a range of shopping experiences from high-end luxury retailers to trendy little boutiques and vintage shops. Now, while Lexington may not have as many shopping options as some of our larger cities, it still offers plenty of opportunities for retail therapy, as we put it. Now, the city's shopping centers and malls, historic downtown areas, and proximity to other major cities offer a range of options for shoppers. Now, while the limited shopping options in Lexington may not be ideal for everyone, the city still has our Southern charm and hospitality, cultural offerings, and of course our natural beauty. Now, the last thing is harsh winters. Harsh winters. It's a big drawback here in Lexington. It can make travel and outdoor activity difficult. Winters in Lexington can be cold, snowy. The temperature's dropping below freezing many days throughout the year. It can make travel treacherous, hard to fly out of Bluegrass Airport. Now, for those of you who prefer milder winters, the harsh winters here in Lexington are not ideal. The snow and ice storms can cause power outages for weeks sometimes and other disruptions, which can be inconvenient for residents and visitors. Now, one reason for the harsh winter is where we're located in the northern hemisphere. Now, it makes us susceptible to cold fronts and winter storms. Now, additionally, the city's location in the Appalachian Mountain region makes it difficult. Our higher elevations, we experience a lot of snow and the cold temperatures. Now, despite the harsh winter, we are still home to plenty of indoor activities and attractions in Lexington. Now, the city has several museums, art galleries like I mentioned before, cultural institutions that offer a range of indoor activities from concerts and performances to art exhibits and historic tours. We even have the Kentucky Theater, which is historic in downtown for movies. Now, additionally, the city's culinary scene offers a variety of cozy little restaurants or cafes that provide a warm and inviting atmosphere during the winter months. Now, furthermore, the winter weather in Lexington can provide unique opportunities for outdoor recreation, such as skiing and snowboarding. Now, nearby mountains and ski resorts such as Perfect North Slopes and Appalachian Ski Mountain, they offer a range of winter sports activities for visitors and residents alike. Now, while the harsh winter weather in Lexington, it's not suitable for a lot of people, the city still offers many activities and attractions to enjoy during our winter months. Now, the indoor activities and culinary scene provide cozy, inviting options for those who prefer to stay indoors. Now, while the nearby mountains and ski resorts offer unique outdoor recreation opportunities, now despite the winter weather, Lexington's rich culture, history, our natural beauty make it a wonderful place to visit or even call home. And I've been here for 20 years. While the top 10 reasons not to move to Lexington may seem daunting, it's important to remember that this city, it does have drawbacks. However, it's important to note Lexington has so many positives. So many positives that make it a wonderful place to live. Like I said, I've been here for 20 years. I can attest to the beauty of this city and kindness of the people. And I've lived in places like New York. I've lived in Charleston, South Carolina. I've lived in the Caribbean. Now, despite limited shopping options, cultural amenities, outdoor activities, Lexington offers a wealth of historical and natural attractions, a vibrant downtown, and a strong sense of community. Now, the city's equestrian heritage, the bourbon industry, and the proximity to the rolling hills of the bluegrass region make it a unique and special place. Now, as writer and Kentuckian Wendell Berry once said, the greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Now, Lexington is a community that's filled with compassion and generosity, and that alone makes it a wonderful place to call home. So if you're considering a move to Lexington, don't let the potential negatives deter you. Instead, reach out to locals like myself who are happy to share our love for this city and help you enjoy your time here. We want you to enjoy your time here and want you to stay here. As Wendell Berry also said, if you don't know where you are, you don't know where you are. All right, come to Lexington. Get to know the city. Get to know the neighbors, and it'll become a part of you. Now remember, guys, my name is Rock Daniels. I am the Bluegrass Realtor for all your real estate needs right here in Central Kentucky. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Please take a moment, hit that subscribe button so that you and I can stay connected. I look forward to seeing you here again soon, and absolutely look forward to seeing you in our city of Lexington. Thanks so much.